Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Attacking Third. I have my man Patrick Bernard here with me. Uh, I don't know what he's doing. I've learned throughout the years not to ask questions. I just kind of let him be, and he makes a fool of himself, and that's cool. What's up?
That is my happy dance, Mr. Goss. You want to know why? Because this team looked like they were out of it, and when this team looked like they were completely out of it after you get smoked by Atlanta 2-0. You get blown off by one of the worst teams in the league, LA Galaxy 3-1, and I'm thinking just of the worst. You go into Nashville, and this team turns it around.
Well, it's definitely there's definitely a lot to talk about tonight, and we're gonna get into Nashville. We're gonna get into a whole bunch of stuff. We got two games to cover tonight as we wait for my man Austin to get all set up. But man,
Yeah,
let's get right into it. Let's get it right into Nashville.
yeah. Well, listen. I mean, look, like you said, there's plenty to talk about. We got games that have been won. We have a kid, a puppy that's coming in that could be a potential good defender. I mean, there's a lot to be talking about. But before we do all that, guys, I want to let you guys know this trip is sold out for Pittsburgh. So, guys, if you guys didn't make the trip, don't worry. Philly Sports Trips has plenty of trips for you. Guys, go link up with them now. They will. They have plenty of trips coming up. They got a trip going out to San Diego. If you guys want to see the Phils take on the Padres, we all know about their upcoming Eagles schedule. I'm hearing it is a party like no other. So, guys, if you're in the local area here in Philly, there's ones they make out to Washington, they make up to North Jersey. They're going to have two of those trips, obviously, to the Giants and Jets. And, of course, my man Vinny, who runs the whole Kabang, is a big-time Union fan. So don't think he didn't have some Union trips up his sleeve. So, guys, head on to the Edge of Philly Sports. Tell them that Philly Sports Trips, the Edge of Philly Sports sent you. Anyway, let's get back to the action. And waiting in the locker room, this man is known for his IQ, but on Tuesdays, he drops his drawers and ready to talk some Union soccer. Let's bring in my man, Austin.
You know what? That is the exact right face to introduce Pat. My God.
Yes. How we doing, gentlemen?
What's going on, Austin? How's it going?
Feeling great, man. Hitting League Cup All-Star break. Got 2 solid wins, man. I'm in a good mood.
So let's get right into Nashville, man. Let's get right into it. What do you think about the first half of the game?
The main thing that stood out to me was just how we were able to contain Henny Mukhtar the entire time. He was going to be the main problem that we were going to have that entire night, and Jesus Bueno did an incredible job manning him the entire night.
He's been playing really well.
Dude, he's been very deserving of the minutes that he's been getting.
Oh, absolutely.
He's been making the most of it.
It hasn't been unbelievable play or anything like that. It's just been really, really freaking solid. And I really do like it, especially defensively, because he wasn't playing like this defensively at the beginning of the season, let alone last season. Like, so it's really nice to see that he's taking some strides, and especially on the defensive side, because containing him is not an easy feat. Like, he's a good player, very fast, really very quick. He can hit you wherever he wants, and we did a very good job in containing him. It was a really, really good defensive effort.
Yeah, it was honestly, I think it was probably the best performance that I've seen so far this season from Jesus Bueno, and the performance that he had against NYCFC, we touched on it a little bit, was just as good, if not better.
Yeah, and from what I saw, where was Gazdag prior to this game? He was invisible as far as production, right? He comes up huge, just like I said. We were thinking the worst because of the blowout from LA Galaxy, and with Chicago had taken a backhand from Chicago on the road. You would figure, this team is really, really solid at home, and the Union struggle on the road. I'm thinking this is all for the worst. Our superstar has been invisible, up until this point. And no, when you get a couple of free kicks and he goes right to Gazdag, this man knows only one thing: find the back of the net. This dude was sniping away, and again, he looked really, really good throughout this game. So I got to give kudos to the point where the fans were throwing objects at this guy. I mean, soda cans were hitting him. You had Nashville's number to the point where they had to get physical with you.
Well, that's just it. It was a very frustrating game for both parts. I mean, we did a very good job defensively, but at the same time, we couldn't really make anything happen in the box. It was those two plays that came from long balls that were clearly, both of them were clear fouls, and it was a good PK given. Like there's no doubt about that. It was just very frustrating from both sides, just because that we couldn't get anything going. Other than the penalty kicks, everything we shot in the first half was from outside. Sullivan had two very good strikes from outside. Carranza tried from outside, I believe. We just couldn't get we couldn't get anything going from the box. We couldn't get the ball in there, let alone our strikers. It wasn't happening. Very frustrating game, especially for them, because as good as we were defensively, we were also very, very lucky. There was like 3 or 4 chances where Nashville should have scored, and easily. So yes, we did it. We did a good job defensively. Bueno definitely did a good job, but at the same time, it was just one of those lucky days for us, because if I'm watching a regular Nashville game, those balls go in the back of the net. And
oh yeah,
maybe it was because we were waiting for Blake and he sent some good juju our way. I don't know what happened, but those balls just didn't go in, because there was really like 3 or 4 chances where they could have scored, and instead of 2-0, we could have saw a 3-2 or a 4-2 L column for us.
Well, look, the way you want to call it, you cookie cut the way you want, lucky, however you want. This Union team came out with the dub, and like I said, a lot of people in Nashville are very, very frustrated. And the fact that you went down there and now you're getting momentum. And as you saw, like I said, it was your 3rd straight game on the road. And I'm thinking you might as well just throw up the white flag and say it's over. But no, one thing Jim Crent doesn't say in this world, that his party's over. He does make his adjustments. He does find the ways to win, and you saw it. And this team now heads back home. So before we get into that game, like I said, I loved what this team was all about. Like I said, you got the guy who's been struggling a little bit as far as offensive production. You got him the ball, and he made the best of it. So again, that put confidence in his game as well.
Yeah, you put Gazdag exactly where he needed to be.
Like Pat was saying earlier, right after that second goal, though, things started to get a little chippy. The ref, I don't think he did a good job in trying to contain the game. It was just a complete shit show right after the second goal. As soon as the first can hit the Union player, it was just all downhill from there. The Carranza. I mean, the whole week you saw people. You could have gone online. You could have gone on Twitter. You could have seen people talk about the Carranza send off. Yeah, he probably shouldn't have gotten sent off, but I get why. It was just super frustrating. Moore was going to get sent off no matter what. He shouldn't have wrapped him up. He shouldn't have tried to push him down the ground. Carranza reacted. I get it. If somebody pushes me, I'm probably going to react back. Now, do I think that he deserved the straight red? No. A yellow for Carranza for retaliation would have been fine. but I get why he did it. He tried to control the game a little more by giving that red. However, that
Yeah.
didn't really work because the whole right after that, Nashville just started getting chippy, started getting a little more aggressive, and it was just really unnecessary soccer. It it was very frustrating and very sad to see the fans you know do something like that. And I get the frustration and all, but I mean you don't do that. Like, that's not gonna do anything but you know put a bad image in your fan base, and you don't want that. Like Philadelphia gets calls for this all the time. If that would have happened in Philly, bro, you would have heard this shit
Yeah,
for 6 weeks
you
about how awful Philadelphia fans are and how disrespectful and we have no class and
yeah,
you could have heard this shit for 5 weeks.
yeah,
Dude,
But
pic-
because it's Nashville,
picture it like this: the year is 2035. People would still be talking about that happening because that's
yeah,
just the kind of fans that we are. Like people would just talk about it all the time. It's,
there's families like that everywhere. That's the thing. And Philadelphia gets this bad rap, but that shouldn't happen. It doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen. The only game that I always that this happens every single time that I've seen every single time. The only game that I see this happen every single time is U.S. against Mexico in the U.S.
Yep.
That's it.
yeah,
right. And to your point, guys, and like I said, this is now again someone else. Let that been a Philadelphia fan throwing some foreign object onto the field at a player that like you said the articles, the newsletters, you name it, at ESPN, they would all have ate it up by now. The typical Philadelphia. Look, they're still complaining about Santa Claus throwing, getting hit with snowballs from 1970. When dinosaurs were roaming the earth. So they still complain about that. So of course, they're any kind of thing, any kind of negative publicity towards Philadelphia will be drawn at us, and they don't talk about the positives. They don't talk about anybody else, but Philadelphia, as the ugliest, meanest crowd of all time, will be labeled. So it
yeah.
is what it is, and we're never going to be able to escape it. But I do want to say, like I said, this might have been a season changer for the Philadelphia Union. For a while, it was lackluster for these guys, and Gaza kind of getting that little bit of momentum as far as getting some points on the board. Really helping his game out. The team, like I said, like Austin said earlier, the defense was there. Again, Joe Bernick, who's been struggling so far, taking over the helm up until this point for Andre Blake. You have to watch with one eye open and one eye closed because you're afraid of the end story. So, but luckily, they walk out 2-0. So you collect 3 points, and then you take care of business in Nashville.
Yeah, and especially when you think the foul totals in that match, it was only 9 for Nashville and 16 for Philadelphia, but Nashville had one more red card than us. They had 2, we had 1. Yellow cards were fairly even. It was really, it really in the tail end of that match, it could have gotten a ton uglier, honestly. That if there would have been if there would have been at least like 7 to 8 more minutes of added time, that game could have devolved even further.
I have never in my life seen 14 minutes of extra time. That is absolutely ridiculous, and that ref should get fined.
Really
that is ridiculous. 10 minutes is a lot. Like, just give him 10, 14? You gotta be kidding me. That's half. That's a quarter of a half. Like, that's ridiculous.
Dude, I saw the fourth official put the board up with the 14 on it. I was like, is someone getting subbed off and they forgot the green numbers? Like, what's going on here?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, it was. It was. Look, a win's a win. I'll take it. Like I said, 2-0. You took 2-0 from one. Again, Nashville has the most best offensive player in the league, and you walked out clean. I mean, so like I said, you have to pat your somewhere on the shoulder, somewhere about feeling good, and then we come into Saturday's game, and then Saturday, what happens there? A NYCFC team who haven't yet to beat the Union in 5 straight games, just can't figure out how to stop the Union.
Well, that doesn't surprise me that what we did to New York. I mean, listen, right after the LA Galaxy game, I'm guessing Curtin just kind of sat him down and said, "Listen, what are we doing?" Because we weren't playing right. We were playing lazy. We were playing, back a lot more. Like I understand we don't have Blake, and you feel maybe you feel unease back there when you don't have somebody like Blake. Uh,
Mhm.
but coming into New York, Blake was back. We feel a little bit better. And even though even though I think we could have scored more that game, we kind of went back to where we played a union type of football, where we kind
Yeah.
of let them make mistakes and we capitalize on them. No, I mean it was a good game. I don't think NYCFC has any answer for the Philadelphia Union at the moment. I think we have their number, and I really don't see unless they get something of the woodwork. I don't see them beating us anytime soon.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely. And my
totally
man
agree.
Joey Wood, thank hi the
I think
comments.
Condon-
Oh God. Yes. Thanks, Joe. Listen, no. Thank you. With a question mark. Uh, but yeah,
Man, this
to me,
the NYCFC match, it was an incredible game. Coming back with momentum after beating one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference to come home against a team that you've pretty much had their number over the past couple of years, and to be able to get Martinez to get his first goal at home in Subaru Park, have Chris Donovan get his first goal in regular MLS play. It was exactly what you wanted to see this team do, is be able to just come out, even though they were pretty much beaten on most of the statistical categories throughout the entire game. Only having 5 total shots, 3 of them on goal, to be able to still get a 2-1 win is incredible.
Yeah, and the last goal really was just one of those late. We just didn't have any legs. For some reason, Curtin took a while to put some fresh legs in there, right at the end there because we still had some subs. That's why I don't understand that part. He was taking way too long. You can visibly tell that we were tired, and too, because we started like kind of playing a little sluggish, which is where the goal came from. There is nothing you can do that when that ball bounces, but one bounces out right to him. I mean, he's gonna score it. Blake did his job. It just happened to bounce the right way. I mean, that kind of goal is it's really just a tired goal. And you saw what happened when when New York put in Pereira, right? Like he put fresh legs right at the end there, and they got the goal right almost right away. Like he
hmm
completely went by who was it, Bizo that he went
Yeah,
by, or
yeah,
like kind of made him look silly. It was a really really good play, and which led to the goal. And it all came from fresh legs. And for some reason, we weren't taking advantage of it. Even in extra times when that will waste a little bit of time, we still didn't do it. I don't understand.
well, like guys, you've been asking this question all season long, and it's going to be part of the segment towards the end of the show. Uh, One thing Jim Curtin doesn't do much is he doesn't, stretch the bench. He doesn't really have a big rotation thing. I don't know if he doesn't trust his players. I don't know if it's the development of he sees something that they're not ready, or he's just I don't know what it is, but like I said, he could try and you need to bring some like you said fresh legs in. I mean, I don't know the man crush, the man love he's got with Bedoya, but my God, my Lord, I mean, as the senior guy on the team, sorry, don't give me the hugging point.
no, I mean, but I mean, he did have to leave early due to injury, and Jesus
Right.
Bueno came in his place and played again another incredible match. It was the main thing that I was going to point out, was that Bueno came in this match in replacement for Bedoya, who seemed to have a bit of a hamstring injury, and just played incredible football in that position.
hmm
I,
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't think he should have been. My brother should have been in there first, but that's just me. I don't think he ever should be there in the first place. I think he get. I'm going to say this again, and I'm pretty sure I've said it almost every episode we've ever had. He can do what he does from the bench, and we didn't only need fresh legs. When Bueno came in, also, we he played better. Let's just plain and simple. The Bedoya is just right now. He's just getting beat every single game. He's a liability. I understand why you have him there. I don't understand why you keep playing him the way that you do. He should be the one coming in for fresh legs late in the match. Like he should be it, right? If you trust him as much as you do, right, and you know it's gonna be a long match, and you know that it's gonna be a close game. Right? You see it right then and there. They give you 14 minutes of extra time. If you have Bedoya on the bench and not on the field, like let me just give you an example with the 14-minute Nashville game.
I mean, to put
Like
it
if you
into
have him on the bench and you put him in, at that point you just put him in for fresh legs. That's it. You
yeah,
don't need
Yes.
him to go out win you the game. You don't need him to create. You don't need him to do anything else other than keep the ball away from these guys so they don't score the ball. Same thing with New York. He should have been there right at the end,
yeah.
right?
I mean, to put it into perspective for you, he's played under 1,300 minutes so far this year, and I feel like some of those are matches that he definitely should have come out at some point, or even
What's the actual number?
I want to say it's like 1,270 something, like somewhere around there, like 1,270 some, 1,280 some. Like he's
That's
just
1,000 minutes too much.
I feel like it's like 600 or 700 too much for sure. Like I feel like you cut that in half, and he still
Was
does
it too much?
exactly what he does already.
Am I exaggerating a bit? That's all right.
I mean, hey,
No.
we're Philly fans, dude. We always exaggerate. Like,
Yes. Yes. Well, I
but
mean, like,
I will now openly admit this is my comeuppance. I am finally starting to board the boat along with Gus on the Bedoya should be on the bench. That whole boat. I totally
He should,
understand where.
dude.
Yeah,
Listen,
I totally understand where you're coming from. I mean, like
if you tell me
he's a minutes eater and not in a good way.
if you tell me that at the end of a game of a 2-0 game, right, when they give 10 minutes of extra time, right, if in the 88th minute, right, or the 85th minute, you bring a Bedoya in, bro, that I will be delighted. Go ahead. Why wouldn't you put a veteran player to try to keep the ball away from the other team? At that point, you're not trying to score; you're just trying to win the game, right?
Yeah,
right.
So why wouldn't you put a veteran player that knows what they're doing because they've been doing this for quite some time? You don't need him to create. You don't need him to score. You don't really need him to defend that much. You just need him to play smart soccer. So if you
Well,
trust him so much, why wouldn't you put him out right in that moment where you really need somebody that you trust so you can go out and win this game? It's like put it in baseball perspective, Pat. Like
right.
Bedoya should be your closer at that point, right?
Correct. Correct.
But he's
And,
not. He's starting games.
you're right. And
Jimbo can't start games.
oh,
he's like Brett Myers.
Well.
He's starting right now when he should probably be closing.
Yeah.
all right. Well, right now Kimmel should be starting, but anyway, that's another discussion. But yeah, like I
Save that for
understand.
Sunday.
Yes, I'll say that. That'll be my fight with Mike on Sunday. No,
We
but
just we
listen,
just won.
Yep.
did they? Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Nola had a very solid outing.
Yes, he did. So my
I mean,
thing
it's
is,
not September, so Nola's going to do
right.
fine until then.
but we'll see. But yeah, like I said, back to Bedoya. I mean, I understand what you're saying, Gus. Maybe he just uses him to be like a field general. Maybe because he's got the years and experience. I don't know. I'm just trying to think why would you know Jim Curtin use him. But I mean, look. But back to this game though. Again, it wasn't Julian Carrazza. It wasn't Gaza who got on the board. It was again Broho. It was my man, Chris Donovan. Finally getting his first goal of the year. I mean, this is what you need, and what a nasty goal, by the way. First of all, Gaza with that back pass through some legs, and Chris Donovan had one. He had one objective. It was to find the back of the net. He looked really sharp.
That was equally a great pass and just a mishandling of the goalie. Like that's
Yeah.
it was equally both. It was awful.
Yeah.
If I was a New York fan, I would be pissed right now because that shouldn't have gone in. Donovan was just there, but that's what a striker does, right? They smell the ball. They need to be where they need to be to score the goal. If you're waiting for the other team to make a mistake and then you capitalize, that's what a striker does. and this kid finally gets his goal. Hopefully this opens up some floodgates. So he can then now that he got a taste, I'm sure he wants some more. Same thing that happened with Brujo. That was another
Mhm.
golazo. And again, it was one timer just right to the side, impossible to save. Um, it, it- he's been playing offensively. He's been playing well. Defensively, he's
He
been
got
playing
that
well.
cha-ching.
Maybe he is an all-star, and I was just hating. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
you're blinded. Time to open your
Blinded by what?
eyes.
I love Brujo.
Dude,
Uh,
that goal was the absolute epitome of what Jose Martinez has done this year. He's just done nothing but surprise everybody, like to the point where he surprised Wayne Rooney, and Rooney was like, "Need him on the All-Star roster."
Dude,
So like,
it was just so unexpected.
dude, that it was first off, the run to lead to the cross was perfect. That cross was beautiful to the back
Yeah,
post. And Martinez was just there waiting for it. And if he would have hit that any harder, it would have tore through the net. Like
yeah,
he
it was
crushed that
perfectly
thing
hit.
within 3 feet of the goal.
yeah, and like I said, Will Yetter says Martinez is scoring. Yeah, he is. He's playing like ever since he got that little cha-ching, he's turned into another beast. But to me, what stood out was Sullivan. Sullivan had this play developed way beforehand, and he makes that beautiful pass right to Brujo, and it was all she wrote right in the beginning. So again, not necessarily your top scorers coming up huge, but again, your midfielders, your defenders. I mean, these guys, are coming through for you, and that's a nice piece to have when your superstars are kind of struggling a little bit. When, of course, you got to take it into the eyes of your opponent, right? If I'm going to see Carranza, my goal is to put double coverage on him this whole time. I know he's a good goal, but let's see what kind. And I've always said this: if all right, let me shut down Carranza. What's going to be the Union's right hand punch if I could take away their left hand? And they got guys who can score, and Brojo is going to be the guy, that got stuff to the plate, and he's doing just a good job of that. But
Which
you know what, guys?
it's insane to think that Brujo's the one that stepped up and he's your defensive mid. And
Right.
he's gotten two
It,
incredible
it's
goals
almost like
this year.
he turned his hunger for the goal that he had. I mean, after a goal like that, it just really can't help it as a player. You're
Yeah.
going to try to look for it, and he's going to play a little up more. But I got to tell you, the one guy that stood out to me, other than Bueno, because Bueno has had a pretty good couple games. Sully, man, Quinn Sullivan has been playing really, really well, and that just goes to show the kid just needs to play. Like he's gonna
Yeah.
get better. He just needs to play, and I love the fact that he's been out there the last couple games. I hope that he keeps doing it because I think he's just gonna get better and better. Those
Yeah.
balls from the outside were clean, straight cuts right to the net. That he just needs to place a little. He just needs to tweak that just a little bit, and
Yeah.
those balls go in.
And not only that, the shooting looks that he's been getting too. Like I think in the Nashville game and this NYCFC game, he had I think like 3 or 4 total shots that just rung off of post, and they were absolute bangers
No
from the
diamond.
outside of the 18. Man, like he's getting the looks that he really wants. He just has to adjust just that little bit, and he could if he made those adjustments going into those matches, my dude would have 5 goals on the year right now.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
at least.
it's a tiny adjustment to his strike that he needs to make, and it's gonna come from playing. Like I'm just really hoping that that Curtin keeps him out there, at least some for a period of time, not bring him in on the 75th or 80th minute of the game, when we don't need to score. I think that he's just gonna keep getting better. He's a young kid. I'm really excited to see how he develops in the next couple games, especially in the Leagues Cup, because
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like he's going to have a little more freedom, outside of the actual season. But I'm really excited to see what he brings to the table because I'm telling you, once he fixes that, and it's not even a fix, it's just a tweak. When he tweaks that, we're going to see some bangers from Quinn Sullivan.
Oh yeah, and I will be on board for every second of Quinn Sullivan just rocking shots from outside of the 18.
Yep, because they're almost there. He's very close, very close.
Oh, so close that I feel like if his shots had a flavor, you would taste it overwhelmingly. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, you talk about shots. What other place to go for some shots? If you guys want to take a ride at 24 East Sellers Avenue, Ridley Park, Pennsylvania, they're right there in Delco. Headed out to Dolan's Bar. You guys want to talk about quiz up music, great times, prizes giveaway. My man, right here, Dolan's Bar. You know, like I said, you look for some shots and maybe some a bite to eat. Come check out Dolan's Bar. I hear a lot of times a Philadelphia sports legend comes rolling through there. And at some point, maybe Broho makes us pit stop down there. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, back to the action. And guys, real fast. The Philadelphia Union made a little bit of noise today. Bringing in a puppy. I cannot pronounce his name because Gus, you asked me to do it, and I can't even get the first letter of my name. So,
Owesu Makanya.
Yeah, I can't even say my own name. So you want to repeat that? No, I'm not going to do it. But I'm going to tell you one thing. This kid is 19 years old. He's a defender. The Union picked him up till 2025. He can actually have the 2026, 26, 27 option to keep him around. So he could be here for quite some time, and we're going to see what kind of player he develops into. Only being 19 years old. Gus, how do you feel with this move today?
I think it's going to be a sneaky good move. Brandon, it's a little bit of a slap in the face to Brandon Craig, if you ask me. But they must have seen this kid, and the Union just had to go for him. The fact that there isn't a lot of film on this kid, which historically speaking, that's a good thing, because it means that he just has this something that that the Union like. Once we picked him up, South Africa kind of went crazy over Twitter and was spewing these comments about this kid, about how good he was. He's going to develop very nicely. I'm really excited to see what he can do. I doubt that we'll see him a lot this season, even if in the first team. And Union 2, we might see him go out there maybe against Wrexham next week. Um, but I'm really excited about this kid. 19 years old, fresh, South African. I feel like he's gonna be really good if he can develop properly.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Ernst Tanner said in the announcement they made today about the acquisition of Makanya. He said, quote, he's an athletic, explosive player who's able to play center back in a back four line as well as a back three. His instincts on the field fit our aggressive style of play, and we look forward to welcoming him to the club. And honestly, from what people have been saying on Twitter about this kid, I 100% agree with it. He seems like he's got that mentality for the type of defensive play that we have. I feel like if given the proper instruction, he could potentially become another Damian Lau. He seems like a very long kid. Very tall.
It's a great comparison.
Can run the field if needed, but can also get back and sit at home very well.
Yep.
And honestly, from where Stellenbosch was sitting in their league so far this year, I feel like it was a bit of a move for them to be able to free up a roster spot so that way they can maybe bring someone else in. He's a very talented young guy. Like you were saying, Gus, he's only 19 years old, so he's got plenty of time to develop. He's our first under 22 initiative signing, which is big for us because most of the time that we bring somebody in, they're usually around like 24, 25, aside from Odada, who was 18 when we brought him in. I'm very much looking forward to Makanya being able to eventually, over the next couple of years, maybe get a few reps out there as like a late game sub, maybe. Or if you get into another tournament where you need to do a deep rotation, you start him and Damian Lau as your back line and just get him some really good work. And I feel like he'll be able to, put together some good meaningful minutes with this club. And even if, to start off, he's down with Union 2 to start off, I'm totally fine with that. Give him some time to really
absolutely.
work it. I feel like it's a very good signing, very solid. Like I said, the first signing that we have for the league's under 22 initiative. Very, very solid choice. great talent. Played in a very tough. The South African Premier League is very tough, and he apparently did enough to wow people from here, obviously, and I believe he had eyes from a couple of other teams here in MLS before the Union managed to get him. So, we managed to pull him from the rest of the clubs that were trying to get their hands on him, and I'm very glad that we happened to get a hold of him.
Yeah, absolutely, man. At 6'1", 174 pounds, very athletic kid. For a center back, 174, it's pretty good. It's pretty hefty. It's I'm excited to see what he can do. It's definitely going to be a good signing. I think he's super young. We probably won't see him much for the senior club, but I'm excited to see what he can bring with the Union too. And if we need him to, come up because we need some legs, I'll be excited to see him there too.
Oh yeah, and I know we didn't really have this on the docket, but I did want to bring this up because I saw a bit more things coming out about it over the past few days. The United Soccer League, the USL, is apparently in August going to a vote for a promotion and relegation system. So they're going to have 3 tiers for the USL. Pretty much the same thing that you would see in like the English Premier League or something, where it's going to be a lot of you're sealing okay, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's looking like they're going to do a 3-tiered thing. If it goes through, they're going to add a 3rd league into their system to be able to get the promotion and relegation going. They're going to at least establish the tiers in 2024 if this vote passes, and then begin actually doing promotion relegation starting in 2025, which I feel like is going to be huge for American soccer, because getting the hype around like your team is pushing at the end of the season to not get sent down. Like, I feel like if you can merge that into MLS and have it be MLS is number 1, then USL tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, work your way down if you happen to, pull a Leeds United and just fall. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a very big move for the progression of soccer here in the States. And what are your thoughts on it, Gus?
Yeah, man. Any time that we can try to advance, the MLS, as in soccer as a whole, here in the States, it's a good day. We're obviously we took some pretty large strides with a little somebody. I think his name is Lionel or something.
Yeah, like Lionel Musi or something like that.
It's like Musi, yeah, something like that. Some guy from Miami.
I think he's related to Yunus Musa or something.
Yeah, I don't know what he's playing. He's but no, it's always good to get exposure. MLS needs it. Soccer needs it in the States. I'm hoping that that we can get to a place where we know we're competing with other people. Ronaldo. Did you see Ronaldo's comments?
Saying that the Saudi league is better than MLS.
Yeah, and you know what?
Why? Because he's there? No.
And dude, it might be like at this point. I have no evidence to say that it isn't.
The Saudi league is like playing Madden with no salary cap, dog. Like, get out of here.
I don't know. It's
the one thing
the only time Al Nassr wins is when Ronaldo scores 5. When he doesn't score, they never win.
Even if they just lost like 5-1 the other day, but that's not the only person they got. Like the Saudis, they picked up some very nice names this season.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it might be better skill wise. It might be better, like, honestly, because there's some really talented people that play over there.
Yeah, totally.
But I don't think if it is better than the MLS, I don't think the MLS is that far away. And I think that it's very competitive. And if you put a team over there from here, I don't think they'll be last. I think they'll compete. But I mean, to say that, I think he was just, because he's in the Saudi league and Messi's here. I feel like he knew when he says that. Ronaldo's very much a player that he's very much a player that will tell you at the moment he thinks something and he'll just tell you it. 4 or 5 years ago, he went in an interview saying that he will never play for Saudi Arabia for the Saudi league. Where is he right now? Right. So he's been doing this his whole career though. Like this is not new. He just kind of takes it as it comes. If an opportunity comes like he can't say no to, he's gonna take it, and been his career for for the most part of when he's been playing. But you never know. Like, he's very old, so he might just retire over there. But I know what he said about that he'll never come to the U.S. and play. But at this point, I don't know because they might offer him something that he can't refuse again.
He also did follow up that comment about MLS by saying, and I quote, where'd it go? I'm 38 years old and European football has lost a lot of quality. Bro, what? Has European football lost a lot of quality?
Well, they lost Ronaldo and Messi, so yes.
Yeah, I mean, but with them leaving, it gives other rising stars the chance to really put their footprint into European football. So I mean, like you had Pulisic moving over to AC Milan. You have what is going to be, in my opinion, the biggest transfer target of the last couple of years in Kylian Mbappe because he's not renewing his contract with PSG. So when his contract runs up, he's going to be up for grabs. And that's going to be big.
You know where he's going.
That man's it doesn't matter where he goes. That man's going to get paid with capital letters. Right? Oh, dude, does it matter?
No, but you know where he's going. Yeah. He's going to be wearing white. Yeah, he's going to be wearing white.
It's not this white, unfortunately. It's not this white.
It's that way. He's going to be wearing white, and he's going to be in Spain. It's just he's been saying this for years. But that's what they do. Clubs like Barcelona and Real Madrid, like that's what they go out and get their guy. They've been talking about Mbappe for years now. And you know what? If PSG is dumb enough to let him go for free, because it might be for free, like that's on them. If they don't want to give a transfer, that's on them. At least make a little something. You're saying no, knowing well that next year you don't get anything for him because his contract's up. Yeah. Like, don't be an idiot. I think get something for him.
Yeah, PSG is definitely taking that 44 Magnum named Kylian Mbappe and just blowing their own foot off if they let him walk for free.
Yep.
All I gotta say is about this whole Messier thing. Listen, I haven't seen South Beach this popping about since LeBron's been down there. This guy, I saw all over the coverages. This man has sold out an entire league. The stadium was packed. The fireworks, the whole.
They are now I think it's the 5th most followed team in American sports, behind what is it? The Lakers, the Warriors.
Golden State's first.
Yeah, Golden State
basketball team.
Yeah, it's them and the Lakers are 1 and 2.
It's Warriors, Lakers, I think Cavs, Bulls, and Miami.
They just passed the Bulls.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, they passed the Bulls for number 5.
Today?
Wow.
Yeah, they have 9.8 million followers.
Damn.
Dog. And you think 2-3 weeks ago they were just cresting over 4 mil? They've doubled and some in less than a month.
That's the Messi effect though. Like that's what he does. The reason he sells out is because I think I've said this before. I don't think that people here exactly know how big Messi is. The second that ball that he's on the pitch and that ball goes, the second that happens, he just became the biggest star to ever play in the United States of America in the history. Even Pele. Because I know Pele played here, but Lionel Messi he could be the best ever. And to me, him and Maradona are like right here. Because I'm a big Maradona fan, and it's hard for me to put somebody above him. But this guy is just like, the way that he just solidified himself was crazy.
Next year, obviously, I think this year obviously is a wash for Miami. Next year, will they be a contender with Messier being there?
Well, they have Messi. They just signed Sergio Busquets. They're looking to get Suarez. They're asking for Iniesta. Jordi Alba just signed with them today. At this point, it's like, do they not have DPs anymore? They just don't care.
No, yeah, it doesn't matter anymore, dude. It really doesn't.
It's just Messi came in and was like, you can have whatever you want. I don't care.
Rolled out
I'll
the
just
carpet,
put it to you like this, Gus. I still have your prediction written down. I even dated it.
Yeah.
So I mean, the second that happens, I feel like this team's follower count will grow because they'll see Blake.
Yeah.
They'll see Blake be super athletic on the best
Great
player in football.
No,
Yes,
I don't think. I think there'll be a wash this year. If anything, no, it'll probably be a wash this year. I don't think they have a shot in hell to come back and do anything.
Yeah,
But
I don't feel like
if they get all these pieces, it's going to be Barcelona B. Like, it's going to be one of those Barcelona teams that come for a charity event. That's what's going to look like because they won't play together before.
Yep.
Like, especially if you bring a Suarez in, then this starts getting a little bit tough because now you have Messi, you have somebody to finish for him when he can't.
The amount of teeth marks that are going to be on center backs in this league from Suarez.
Yeah. However, you still don't have a goalie, right?
Yeah.
You don't have a goalie.
And
Your
you think
defense.
they still have Josef Martinez too.
Dude, listen. If anybody's listening right now, the first game that Messi plays in, everybody should go bet Martinez the over. Just bet the over on Martinez for goals. Because I'm telling you, I don't think Martinez is going to be more open. Like, this is going to be the most open that Martinez has ever been his entire career. Trust me. If you're a betting man, go put some money down on Martinez for the over because it's going to happen.
Yeah, it'll definitely happen.
Well, like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun, especially next year for the Inter Miami. But right now, gentlemen, listen, and if you guys are excited about making any kind of trips, maybe if you're in the Miami area, whatever you guys want to, go check it out. Listen, save yourself 10% off by using the promo code EOP10. Look, great prices, no hidden fees, sports, concerts, theaters, you name it, we got it over here. Just like I said, you tell them, just use the EOP10 promo code. So, www.sharetickets.com, family operated and known since 1946, and they'll get you covered. Guys, the Philadelphia Union, slow start, so let's all play teacher right now, and let's do our midterm grade, and I'm going to go, Gus. I'm going to give you overall of the team from where they were, from where they started, the beginning of the year to where they are now. What grade would you give them?
If I may interject really quickly before you do, I just did a quick check. They have crossed 10 million followers now.
Wow.
10 million for Inter Miami CF.
Nice.
And the fun just keeps on building.
Dude, it's and we're what? 3 days out? 3 days out from his debut?
Hilarious.
Bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So back to your original question. Overall, I would give this team a B-.
I see it.
Starting in the year, I would, I was a little skeptical because I had him at like a D. Then after we stopped playing so many games in the same week, we kind of started grabbing some traction, and we were able to bring that grade up. So right now we've had some pretty solid games. We've dropped a couple more before, so B- is where I would put him.
B- for Gus. Austin, where are you going?
I'm a little more generous than Gus. I got him at a B+. It's about where I expected them to be in terms of their position in the conference. I expect them to be a top 3 team at this point. I didn't expect them to be 3, but I did expect them to be in the top 3. The level of play has been very up and down, and coming into the break with 2 solid wins, I feel like helped push the grade up just a little bit. The numbers definitely don't lie for this team for sure. It's definitely proven they had a very rough start to this year. Their goal differential is nowhere near where it was at this point last season. Getting getting another season with 2 All-Stars definitely helps. I mean, granted, we had the injury to Andre Blake early on, and then missing him for all the Gold Cup play definitely hurt. But we've found ways to rally, and we've been getting some meaningful wins. And yeah, I feel like a B plus, somewhere between a B minus and a B plus, is pretty fair for this team.
Same, and I'm going to join the canoe. I'm going to throw a B. Slow start. You kind of rose to the occasion. You want them back on a losing streak. You kind of want to stay out for a little bit. The offense, a couple of the players weren't succeeding, and didn't feel like there was any kind of counter punches to any of it. So yeah, I'm going to go B as well for my midterm grade. Next up, Jim Curtin for you, Gus. Jim Curtin right now, as far as coaching this team, sitting at the 3 spot in the Eastern Conference. How you feeling?
Same.
A B.
B minus. Yeah.
Another B for Mr. Curtin.
And it's simply because there are times that I don't understand his subs.
Yes.
So the subs, the occasional weird 11s to start matches, like
yeah. There are times that I think he's doing a little bit too much. I trust him completely. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a great coach. His play, his actual scheme when they're out there, it's perfectly fine to me. Maybe not minus. Maybe I'll just stick to B. But but that's what's keeping me from giving him any more. I think he had a much better year last year in terms of that. I think he's trying a little bit too much, and if he can, there's just so many games that we're playing this year that why wouldn't he, right? But I don't like when they're happening, so I'm gonna stick with the B for him.
Yeah, I have to 100% agree. I feel like a flat B is fair for Jim Curtin this year. Just like with the way the team was, very up and down in terms of some coaching decisions. A few times he has openly admitted, the team didn't play the way they should have. And a lot of that, as much as you hate to have to admit it, a lot of that falls on the coaching staff. Sometimes it's just, sometimes you feel like the team might not have been prepared enough. The match against Atlanta, he himself admitted that he may have over-prepared and wound up screwing himself over in terms of the decisions that he made for that match. So there's definitely some points that can be taken away. There's some points that can be given. I feel like a flat B, maybe a low-end B plus would be right around where you would probably grade Jim Curtin right now this season.
For me, again, B across the board again. I feel like there's been the bulk of your wins was because of all of his adjustments and putting the guys in the right areas. And I also feel though the reason why you lost is because you didn't make the right adjustments. You didn't go to your bench like you should have and made some replacements. I feel like I alluded to earlier in the show, I don't feel like you have enough trust in your bench, and that's why you keep Barney the Bedoya dinosaur out there, and just that holds up traffic. So
that's the real reason I gave him a B, the Bedoya play.
Yeah.
A B for Bedoya. It makes sense.
A B for Bedoya.
He's not Italian though. He's Spanish. What's wrong with you?
He's also from Jersey, so I mean it kind of makes sense.
Okay, I'll give you that.
All right. So, but yes, I got to give Jim Curtin a B across the board. Like I said, I feel like all the wins came from his right adjustments, but also the wrongs. All the teams. The reason why the team lost is because of him and his adjustments. So yeah, I'm going to give him a B. It's across the board. Gus, you are on now. Julian Carranza.
For Julian, he's very up and down. I'm gonna be a little harsh here for him. I'm gonna go C plus.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna go C plus. Just because I feel he just could be so much better, and when I'm talking about so much better, I mean so much better than he is. I've said it since last year. If he works on playing with his back to the goal, and he stops having these games where he's just non-existent, I would give him a better grade, and he will probably be sitting at around B plus, if not A minus. But C plus, I'm gonna give Julian right now.
Julian for Gus C plus. Austin.
It's funny you mentioned a B plus because that's what I gave Carranza so far this year. I mean, you just look at the numbers: 21 games played, 20 starts, 1,778 minutes, 10 goals, 3 assists. He's done what he's supposed to do. I mean, the play isn't at the same level that it was last season, but so far it's been, I feel like it's been a little bit above average for where he could be at this point in the season. I expected a more significant drop off from this team offensively in terms of the forwards.
I don't.
Most of it has been in terms of Mikhail Ua for me than it has been Julian Carranza or Daniel Gazdag. The drop off has been.
Let me ask you a question. How many goals does he have?
Who, Carranza?
Yeah.
10.
10?
How many goals should he have?
Oh, probably 15.
Okay. So that's where I am. That's why I gave what I gave him.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with it. There's still adjustments that need to be made in his game, but so far it's been a decent enough year for him that he's definitely helping keep this team afloat in terms of offense for the most part. Him and Gazdag are really the reason, pretty much the main reason why we are sitting where we're sitting, aside from the defensive play of guys like Jake Leslie, Jack Elliott, Jose Martinez, the goaltending of Andre Blake. But honestly, I have more gripes with Mikhail Ua than I do with King Julian.
Oh, absolutely. It is a rough grade, Diego, and you're right. And that just simply comes because I just think he could be so much better, and it pisses me off that he's not.
Is it also from Argentina and not Peru?
Maybe. No. I'm just no. I have no beef with Argentina. He's good. But it's a tough, very tough grade that I'm giving him. But again, that's just because I know how good he could be.
Oh yeah.
Right. I'm gonna give him, and this could be a little biased because he might be my favorite player on the team. I gotta give him an A minus, and why I give him an A minus because this is the reason why. Because defense, your opposing players had to put him in double coverage, and he's the reason. It's not his fault that he doesn't. There's no plan B. As far as Jim Curtin kind of a what's his game plan after going with Carranza, and when Carranza's left open, like Gus alluded to, he can make things happen. And from the end of May to June to late June, he was on fire. Again, he's still a top 5 offensive player in the league. So I'm gonna say an A minus for Juan Carranza.
He has gotten better, and this is just an overall grade that I'm giving him. He's had some very nice games where he's obviously played way better than a C plus I'm giving him.
Right.
But overall, there's also some games that he just completely disappeared. So that's the only reason why I'm being a little tough on him.
Right.
And that's not to mention the games where he just completely just missed a wide open shot in net. Like and it's happened multiple times this year. So that's why I'm being a little rough on Carranza.
Good call, Gus. I forgot about that
I can
game.
understand it. I totally understand why you gave him the grade you gave him. I may disagree, but I totally understand where you're coming from.
All right. Next on the card, Daniel Gazdag, and I'll go to Gus. Daniel Gazdag for you, sir.
I'm gonna give him a B plus, but it's really close to an A minus. From where he started this year, where he was just completely overwhelmed, and to where he is right now. First of all, ice veins penalty kicks are just ridiculous for him. It's almost an automatic when he's back there.
Dude, he puts that ball on the spot, and you have to check to see if he has a pulse.
It's just it takes some real skill to be that cool in a situation like that. Because penalty kicks, they may look as easy. They're not. They're not as easy as you may think. I mean, for a professional, yeah, you would think, but you also have a professional goalkeeper on the other side, so it's not as easy as people may think. His play overall has just increasingly gotten way better. Um,
Diego says PK
okay,
A
so
plus.
that's a B average, Diego.
Yeah.
That's a B average right there. There you go. That's what I said. So and that's why he's a B, because the play started off like really not that good. I think he was overwhelmed having that 10 role. He kind of found his game a little later in the season when again we stopped playing so many games to in the same week. Um, but he's gotten better. Like, I mean, you saw that pass that he had to Donovan last game was just so pretty. Like, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's
Smoothest
why I
back
give him the
heel.
grade that I give him, because he's just gotten that much better where he's now commanding attention from the other from the opponent's defense, which liberates other people to do their thing for the Union. So as the season keeps going, hopefully we'll end up the year at an A. But right now, I think a
Okay.
B is just pretty solid for Dan with that. Yes, Dan.
Down guys, like I'm gonna go switch up a little bit because we're gonna end at a time. I'm gonna go. Austin, you brought his name up. Give me Uwa for you.
I feel like
What a fade.
I feel like I'm being generous in giving this man a C minus. I feel like I'm being generous because, I mean, granted, 7 goals, 3 assists, it's okay numbers, but he so often comes up short of his expectation on the pitch consistently. Like, I still remember, I believe it was during the I think it was the Nashville match, Gus, when you and I were both live tweeting during the match. I outright said to sub Ua in for Sullivan is mad. And that is a hill that I will literally die on. I will die on that hill. You subbed out Sully after he had 3 really good looks to bring in Ua, who did
No, that was
nothing.
a mistake. No, that was a mistake. I think at that point Sully was playing well enough to that you got to keep him in the game. He's young, like he's not that tired.
Yeah.
You got to keep him in. But yeah,
and especially seeing him like early stages of last season, how he was burning defenders on his runs, and now he's barely doing that this year. Like, I don't know what happened to him during the off season and like during some of the preseason training and stuff, but I feel like he's lost a step. He doesn't have that same killer speed that he used to have. So, like I said, I honestly, I may even agree with Diego if you want to bring up that next comment there for the next 2 comments for Diego. He gives Ua a D and says that a D is being generous in his opinion. And I honestly, I feel like my C minus, now that I'm looking at what Diego's saying, like I may have been way too generous.
Yeah, he said I got a C plus. Totally. Sometimes he to me disappear. Your number 10 should be focal point every game. He says D. He goes D is being generous. Then he goes, I'd rather take Quinn for that position.
You know what? Right now he's not wrong. Right now Quinn is just game after game. He's showing you that he can find spaces to get the ball in the back of the net. And he's showing you that he has the pace. You saw this kid; he's fast. Like he might be faster than Ua even right now. And Ua came in the game for us, expecting to be that guy that brings the speed to your striker position, right? But Quinn has just taken over that right now. He's faster right now. I think for me, Ua gets a D. And again, Diego, maybe we're being generous with him. He's getting a D because he does have 7 goals. But I think he's not trending in the right direction. He needs to go forward. He's not. He's going backwards. So that's not something that you want to see, especially from one of your DPs.
Yeah.
Diego,
in terms of Quinn Sullivan, he's saying at the game Saturday, he was watching him for like 25 minutes straight, and the pressure he put on the NYCFC back line was different. And I 100% agree with that. I mean, you look at just the first goal, the run he put on the outside to get himself into a position to put that cross in for the Martinez goal. That's the kind of run that Ua did all of last season. And you haven't seen it once this year. Maybe on like 1 or 2 goals, you would see like a quick flash of that speed, but it hasn't been there this season.
If I'm Curtin, I'm sticking to Sully. at the moment,
One
and
hundred
then just
percent.
bring Ua if he gets tired right at the end if you need scoring, but like Quinn has just gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no other way of saying it. He's just gotten like way better. He's a little bit bigger. He's a little bit bigger, yet somehow faster than he was last year. So
Yeah.
I don't understand how that works. Maybe he's coming into his body. I have no idea.
Yeah,
But
freaking nature.
at that speed, really surprised the hell out of me because I didn't know he had that in him. That kind of speed. I knew he was a little
Look,
fast.
as
That kind of speed that he showed me last game, I had no idea he had in
hey,
him.
I'll put it to you like this: as someone who knows Quinn's father, I mean, he learned from someone who knew how to run. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
just saying.
now I'm going to go to Gus Brujo to wrap it up. I'll
I
give
mean,
Austin one more.
All-Star year, you got to give him an A. You have to.
And hey,
Defensively,
coming from you.
defensively, I can't really fight it. Like defensively, he's gotten there. Offensively, he's getting better. He's an all-star this year. I gotta give him an A. Like,
Yeah,
he's
so
just been
come get
very
removed.
solid. He's our heart and soul. He's been our heart and soul for the last couple of
What?
years. Diego with the A plus.
And plus,
I gotta give him an A. He's just been very very solid.
he's crushing it.
Especially in the defensive side of the ball, which we command. And now that he's scoring, that's a double threat. I think it's where he sits.
I 100% agree, and I was alluding to my rise in appreciation for him when he got the All-Star nod, and even when he got
Mhm.
the contract extension. He embodies everything Philly in his style of play. He is a very staunch defender. He can make the runs up the field if he needs to. He is again, I say this all the time. He in my opinion is shithousery defined for Philadelphia when it comes to the sport of soccer. It's exactly what you want from your defensive mid, and I feel like A is completely fair, and honestly, maybe even underrating him a slight bit.
Wow, you guys have blown us off the doors.
Dude,
And
Pat,
one
Pat
more.
the numbers don't lie. I mean, he's only started
No,
16 games and 18 played, but he's played 1,415 minutes, 23 tackles. Like the dude's had a solid year so far, and he's only getting better, which is insane.
Hmm.
Diego says 5 games in. 5 games in, I was already hard on him, but the growth over the season has been incredible on both ends. Yeah,
And, and, and
dude's heartless, man.
And to go with Diego, I was really hard. I've been really hard on Brujo because there are games where he's just super careless. That was my one stick with Brujo. He's been careless for a number of games, and those passes that led to turnovers that eventually led to goals for the other team, like those piss me off because they're not necessary. And
Right.
he's been just a lot better. I don't remember the last time he gave up a pass for a counterattack. In the last couple outings. If he went ahead and just eliminated that part of his game to where maybe it happens once in a blue moon. I mean, you gotta give him an A.
Yeah, well, listen, the guy's been playing lights out right now. And I want to go one more person, the other All-Star for Mr. Olsen, Jacob Glasnost. What's your take on the Glasnost making it to the All-Star?
I have Glasses at an A as well.
Really? That run he
Yeah,
made it back to
I
the
mean,
post-game goal of the last game he showed it. Yeah.
yeah,
But
dude,
yeah,
that run for Martinez on that goal was exactly what you were expecting for someone to just
Yep.
jump up and be able to just take control of a play, and that was exactly what you wanted to see.
And I'm
Um,
gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this before you go on, Austin. That run doesn't happen if he didn't score that golazo the other night, the other week.
yeah,
And
honestly,
I'll stand by that. Whatever
yeah.
you want.
If he
That
would have missed
doesn't
that, I
happen.
feel if he didn't make that goal, I feel like he's still gun shy, and he doesn't make that run.
Yep.
I 100% agree. But yeah,
Yeah.
Glesnes, I have with an A as well. On track still to be potential defender of the year candidate again. Getting the All-Star nod for the second time in his career, I believe it is. I mean, again, I'm grabbing the books. I have the numbers here.
yes.
He's
I
the
like a
only,
numbers book.
he is the only player on this team to play and start in every single game this season, 23 and 23. He's played over 2,000 minutes and he has 25 tackles. It's exactly what you want from your cornerstone for your back line. Exactly what you want.
You gotta give him an A. Like there's really no other grade for Glasnost. He's just been super solid. He's been the backbone of our
he's an
defense.
A. Yeah, he's an A, and Elliott's an A-.
Well,
both of them.
And Andre Blake's an A-, even though he's missed time due to injury in Gold Cup.
No.
0.85 goals against average, dog.
Listen, if I could give Andre Blake an A+++++, I would.
I mean, do you want to recreate the scene from Christmas Story?
Don't matter.
just keep writing the pluses on the chalkboard.
A++++++.
Okay, so Andre Blake, I'll say A+++++. And one thing about Glasnost, one of the nicest people you can interview.
He's Norwegian, dude. They're always nice.
Yes.
You either play soccer, you play hockey, or you play metal. Those are the three things that you do in a Scandinavian country.
I just saw dude, he's got it was great. Like his kids are all running around in the locker room or whatever. I'm seeing a bunch of Glasnost faces running around, and the one just happened to nail me in the chin with a soccer ball. And I'm like, what's going on over here? But yeah. One of the nicest people on the face of the planet you can meet.
See right there?
That right there.
Oh,
right there.
Blake is the GOAT.
Absolutely.
That's the grade.
Wow. Well, we'll see. Listen, but we'll see what happens on second half. Guys, I want to thank you so much. But before we get out of here, I got to go one more sponsor before we get out of here, of course. With all your problems and all your needs, hit up my man, David R. Cherry Esquire, guys. Again, great guy here. Work compensation, motor vehicle accidents, personal injury, criminal. Hit up my man David R. Cherry Esquire, 610-565-0300. If you're dealing with any of those categories, he's a good dude. So hit him up today, and we'll see you guys next week. And next week we will have another beat reporter in the house. Mike, I don't want to butcher his name because I got to look up again.
You butcher it. You butcher your own name.
Yes, I do.
I'm still trying to figure out who Glasnost is. I don't know who Glasnost.
Yes. Well, that's my English, okay?
I don't know who Lionel Messier is, but I feel like he's a great hockey player.
He said, guys, have a great night. Great show. Thank you.
And to play us out like Weston McKinney did.
Yes. I like it. So, guys, till next Tuesday. Stay tuned. We got more and more Union action coming up, and we will discuss our predictions for the second half of the Union season. So we'll talk all that and more. So, guys, stay tuned. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., the Party on Broad. Gus's guy, Freddie Burns. Diego Alston's guy, Dives. We'll be in the house talking some Sixers and all this NB nonsense and all this. They'll be breaking it down tomorrow.
Everybody needs to